Oh wait, we hadn't already started?
No,
No. We're recording right now. Good morning, everybody.
Footage for
And
Polo.
welcome to the fifth episode of the New Gods podcast. And today we have another very special guest, Louis Morel, who is the voice actor for Needles and a couple other characters. So how you doing, Louis?
Hello. I am. I don't quite know how I'm doing. I would say I'm suffering severe stage fright, but I will do my very best not to fall to absolute pieces. I voiced Needles. I voiced the sewer poop monster, which what was it? Something like that. Can't remember closely. I voiced Stitches, and I have a new god design in the intro. So I am the only legitimate new god here. Ha ha ha.
Oh,
ha ha ha.
that's
I'm
actually true.
canon, bitches.
That's a bit embarrassing, actually.
I love you.
No, wait, before we continue,
No,
hang on a
thank you.
second. Louis, I think your voice got muffled. Maybe your Discord settings are like set
no,
it so that.
That was when you were talking
maybe
about the
we
monster
should-
name.
Yes.
Oh, sorry. I just absentmindedly put the phone slightly further from my head. Sorry, that was my fault.
All right.
I'll try and hold it to my mouth. I'll try and
Okay, don't
whisper.
worry.
Wait,
Hey,
do you have
don't
the
worry.
phone in your mouth?
I'm gonna check out that if it happens again.
So the question we're
Okay.
asking today is, who's your favorite NPC? And I think we have a pretty clear answer for that today, considering who we have on as a guest.
Oh yeah, it's the blue shopkeeper in the little underground village in Fear and Hunger 1, because I would have died without their potions so many times. I appreciate them immensely. They are my favorite character.
That's actually a good point.
I
yeah.
mean, my favorite NPC is Pocket Cat, of course. So,
Is it really? That's I
what do you
don't
mean?
believe
Is
that.
it? What do you mean? Is it real? No. Actually, my favorite NPC is Needles, and today, coincidentally, we have the voice actor of Needles. So I'm
Wow.
so excited because I gathered a lot of questions from my Discord server. Like a lot of people told me a lot of stuff to ask you specifically, and I too are very interested to know a particular question that I'm gonna ask later. But the first,
So I have a question. So you told everyone that we were going to have a guest that was going to be Needles to your people, and this is something that is private. We told you it's private.
it's
bro,
alright.
I did it
It's alright. It's alright.
exactly
It's alright.
5 minutes ago.
It's alright. It's alright.
So it's not prohibited.
It's not Pocket Cat. No, it's Needles. Even better. So I do have to ask, because if I don't ask this, Louis, if I don't ask you to do this, Louis, everybody in chat in chat in the comments is going to be really mad. Can you do the laugh for us?
My voice is a bit sore, but I'll do my best.
Awesome. Thank you. Oh,
Is that good?
that was really good.
Oh my God. It cut out a little because of Discord settings, I think.
But the bit that came through was
Discord
really good.
Noise suppression kicked in.
Maybe because of noise suppression. If you if you put it to none, maybe it will catch it fully.
Do I have to do
But
it
it's-
again? My voice hurts.
It sounds so good. No, it
You're gonna
sounds so
die in this
good.
voice call. I'm sorry.
I did tell you about this. I did tell you about the noise suppression.
I can do the little like nursery rhyme, like da 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 da. Was that it?
That's perfect.
Is
That's
that-
awesome.
Kinda, yeah.
I love all of Needle's voice lines. It makes him such a unique character because voice lines are so few and far between in the fights. So him doing all that
Yeah,
laughing
I
and then
just-
echoing through the alleyways is just great.
I just bothered Orange one day and say, hey, can I do voice lines? And he said yes. So okay.
Oh wait, that's something I wanted to ask actually. Like, how did you get in contact with Orange? Like, how did the
Oh,
process start?
That is because the community was fucking tiny. I joined the Fear and Hunger Discord like within like 2 weeks of its initial release, and was pretty active there back in the day. It was my first like foray into online communities and interacting with people. So I was pretty invested and have a lot of early stories. Like I am responsible for the elite guard in the first game. They didn't
Yeah.
initially have an execution scene. But I asked Orange, why don't they have execution scene? And he was like, oh shit, I need to do an execution scene. So I'm responsible for you being beaten to death in that particular way. So
You're the cause for that.
But I
Execution
did
scene?
save you all from the infinite rape glitch because I was the first person to find it.
The infinite what?
Long
Don't
story
say that
short-
word. Don't say that word. Don't say that.
Oh,
Don't say that word.
the infinite unrequited love glitch.
Wait, is it with the guard?
No, it's with the golden new god dude. It's like when he kills you, that event
Yeah.
happens. But there was a thing where the battle
Oh.
would restart with you on 1 health, and he would just attack you, kill you, and the scene would repeat infinitely. And the things I thought it was intentional because I thought this was like the most disturbing thing in the game. I was like complimenting Orange about it because like, oh my god, that's such a messed up thing you added in the latest update. It's like that's like the most terrifying thing in the game. It's like, oh, that was not intentional. So
Ah!
I saved you all from that fate.
It does seem like it would be
No, wait,
intentional,
wait.
though, doesn't it?
No, wait,
Yeah,
it still
of course.
works.
It still
Yeah.
happens. It still
Yeah, that
happens.
happened
Yes,
to
it
me.
still happens. It still
Or-
happens.
Orange
You
doesn't
didn't
learn.
save anyone. You doomed us all. You didn't save anyone.
Okay, thank you, Louis, because tomorrow I'm gonna fix some bugs. I'm gonna add this to the list. Now I know it's a bug.
And speaking of, the elite guard execution scene doesn't work either.
Really? It broke?
Sort of. It's supposed to do a thing where it populates the executioner room with the corpses of your party members, but if you have party members instead, the game just crashes.
Huh?
Fear and Hunger 1 is like, I do adore the game, but it's so unstable. It is so unstable.
Completely agree with you.
Yeah.
Completely.
So
Um,
when you hit up Miro to work with him, did you know that like Needles was a character in the game, or did you just say,
Oh,
"Give me some
God,
work,"
no.
and he's
I'm
like, "Here, do this
No,
plan."
I threw my creepy laughter at him because it is something that I'm good at. Because should I tell them incredibly melodramatic and convoluted backstory? I'll do it while my voice holds up. Long story short, okay, I have extreme sensory sensitivity, which causes me experiencing new sensory information or like a glut of it to cause me a lot of pain. That's why I got into Fear and Hunger, because it's fucking pixel art, and pixel art is the best because it's, like so simple. But no mind. Basically, people didn't believe it was, people just thought I had an irrational fear of like noises and going outside and whatnot. At the age of 14, a condition developed on top of it, which is called fibromyalgia, which can be caused by prolonged periods of intense pain and stress, which is a neurological pain condition, which means I permanently feel like I'm burning to death, and I'm utter agony every moment of my existence. It is as bad as it sounds. And when it's first started, I got the worst hysterics because I was having a complete mental breakdown, as you would. It's like I used to laugh so hard it would hurt my chest, and that's what Needles is based off. It is based off the hysterics I got when the fibro pain started. It's interesting because familiar with the concept of people crying with laughter. I mean, sorry, they're so happy they cry.
Yeah.
It's like hysterics is that from like the opposite direction. It's very interesting because crying and laughing are surprisingly similar. So that's what I try to do with Needles. I wanted to blur the line between crying and laughing and just do the hysterics that I did back in the day and try and repeat that sound, which I did. And that is what he sounds like.
Well, that's actually pretty interesting.
But wait,
Um,
every time you do that laughter, do you feel pain in the chest, as you said?
Oh no, that back in the day I would be laughing like Needles for like half an hour straight because I would be having a panic attack really badly. Thankfully, I did not do that for half an hour straight. If I did, it would probably hurt my chest.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Well, that's actually pretty interesting because that's remarkably similar to the lore of Needles. Because they go through
God.
that. Because he's a sulfur cult member, and to do that, they had to get scorched by the sun, by sulfur. Right?
Oh no, that's the worst.
And he's basically in
That's the
constant
worst.
pain.
It's like fibromyalgia makes me feel like I have like permanent, really bad sunburn all over my body. It feels like my skin's burning. I didn't really. Oh shit, that's morbid. Jesus
It's
Christ.
just like
Yeah.
you for real.
Yeah.
Oh my
so,
God.
hi, welcome to the show, Needles.
In my life. Jesus Christ. I literally just made a whole game about how I hate the fucking sun because it hurts my skin. Because on top of my sensory sensitivity makes, I don't know, heat makes fibromyalgia worse. Bright sunlight hurts my skin because of my sensory sensitivity, and it's so yeah. I fucking hate the sun, so I'm not really a salt. I'm into the. Oh dearie me. But yeah, okay.
I actually did want to talk about that a little bit. Your game that's just come out, because I was playing it yesterday,
Oh yeah.
and it's not bad. Sunrise
Well,
EXE. Sunrise.
Yeah, it's a free game. Yeah. Okay. It's I like. Okay, it has very trippy visuals and sounds because I wanted to try and recreate the kind of vibe of sensory overload. Because my vision's way too sensitive, my hearing's way too sensitive, so I wanted to have that weird, distorted nonsense which I kind of experience and try and put it into the visuals. The game is trying to raise my. Long story short, I'll be as brief because I'm not emotionally good enough to talk about it that much. But I've been like suicidal for my most of my life because of this. I literally have 24-hour care because leaving me alone is a suicide risk. I have to drink out of plastic glasses. So I wanted to try and raise money for a charity that would help with suicide things. So I did a bunch of research to try and find out what people were affected most by feeling suicidal and who was the most treatable. Because the thing about me, yeah, I'm not fucking treatable. Fibromyalgia is not a treatable condition. I'm stuck like this. So yeah, there are lots of reasons. It's, for example, painkillers don't work because painkillers, for example, if you hurt your leg, the pain signal goes from your leg to your head. The painkiller interrupts that signal. The thing is, my pain is neurological. It's already in the house. It's straight in my brain. There's no interrupting that signal. So I'm in constant extreme levels of pain, and there's nothing that I can practically do about it. But I wanted to, and the most.
Sorry. I wanted to ask you. So you made a game about how you feel trapped inside your body. Is that what this game is all about?
Well, it's more about just feeling like I'm tripped. It's a bad dream on a hot summer's day. It's a bad. I'm sleep deprived a lot of the time. I experience a lot of trippy stuff to do with sensory distortion. When my sense stuff gets overloaded, the world tends to twist and bend, and I don't want to get into it because it's not something that's a pleasant experience to think about. But I just wanted to convey that experience of just pain, and there's nothing you can do, and reality doesn't feel real. Everything feels like a bad dream. So I wanted to try and do that and just try and make this very unsettling, surreal atmosphere.
I can tell you one thing though, in my opinion, while it is really bad what you're going through, of course, I think that making a game and showing what you have, in your head to be able to communicate with other people, it's one way to fix this. In a way, it allows people to,
all
reach out
my
to
art
you.
is vent art to a degree. Needle's laughter is vent art.
Yes.
All the creepy sculptures, I just do non-stop vent art. That's my only coping mechanism. That is actually
That is the only way that you can help others and help yourself.
That's the advice with fibromyalgia that the specialist gives. It's just keep yourself as fucking distracted as possible.
Yeah.
Just keep yourself really busy.
You might find someone who has this, maybe.
I hope not. Jesus.
But what I'm saying is that maybe you can find something that they know that it can help you fix with this somehow.
Trust me.
Yes.
I have a really bad cocktail because, long story short, I initially had extreme sensory sensitivity. I'm autistic. It's a rare bad trait you can get with autism. Typically, people with autism do have mild sensory sensitivity, but I had a really fucking bad case. That combined with fibromyalgia kind of made the whole situation kind of worse because fibromyalgia increases your space sensory sensitivity already, and it's most treatments just don't work because I don't want to talk about it. It's depressing, and I don't want to.
It's fine.
Yeah, we don't have to.
That's fine. You're here just for this reason. Not just for these. Also, we love you.
Sunset EXE is to try and raise money for charity. Try to figure out who is I don't know if this is callous, but long story short, what I did all the research, I was trying to figure out how can I stop as many people feeling suicidal as possible, the least money possible. Because I was it's I wanted to try and do as much good as I can. So I tried to figure out, okay, which group of people that feel suicidal and have a high suicide rate are the most treatable. at the most inexpense. And after doing a bunch of research, basically, young trans people have a really fucking high suicide rate, but they also have like the most treatable way when it comes to trans affirming care having like absurdly positive effects when it comes to decreasing the suicide rate. So I wanted to try and raise money for a charity called Mermaids because I thought that would probably be like the smartest option if I wanted to try and stop as many people from feeling like I as possible. So yeah.
Yeah,
that's
so
what I
the
did.
link to the game and the link to the charity link as well will be down in the description of the video today for anybody who would like to check that out.
Thanks. I really appreciate you putting it there. It's like, I don't know. I don't, it's like, I don't know. I just want to do the best I can with what I have. And the thing about me is, this might sound depressing and callous, but trauma can be an asset. I couldn't do Needle's voice if I hadn't suffered severe hysterics from my, chronic pain. My chronic pain is why I got into Fear and Hunger, because I was just looking for games which weren't visually overwhelming, just pixel art games. It's like I do have a unique skill set which has been created because of my fucked up situation, and I want trying to leverage it with the best that you can, because you have to play the cards you're dealt.
You do, don't
You
you?
can't
I
say
want to tell you. I
better
want to tell you
ones.
something. I don't know if this maybe you might want to cut this out, but I have no idea. Depends on how it
No
comes
worries,
out.
All
no
right, I'll
worries.
write down this
Hmm?
timestamp.
Uh-oh.
Just timestamp it, just in case.
Uh-oh, what are you gonna say?
So, I have one way of saying things, which is, am I lagging?
No.
Because my Discord says that it's
No.
lagging. No? Okay,
No.
fine. Let me know if I'm lagging. I have a few friends who are colorblind. I have a few friends who have autism. I have a few friends who are transgender. I have a few friends who have many kind of things of seeing the world different. There's people who have tinnitus. I got tinnitus recently. There's
Oh
people
shit.
who have difficulty seeing. There's people who are blind. There's people who communicate with sign language. And every single time that I see that, I imagine myself in a world where I will be going through that, but I can never connect with them fully because that kind of experience, that kind of life that they are going through is their own. And I will never experience that. I will never experience the life of a blind person to know what they have to go through their life. I will never experience the life of someone who's missing an arm or a leg. How do they go through their everyday life? And in a way or some way, I feel like it's special because of just completely being different from the rest. And it might be weird to say that, but I I am so thankful to have them around me to tell me how their everyday life is, so I can help them move forward. Because sometimes I don't have anything of like that can prevent me from moving around or anything that could just hurt me to the point that it's gonna be impossible for me to move forward. I feel like I need to provide the help to those people. I I find it amazing that you were able to come up with that voice thanks to your own difficulties that you're going through, Luis. But I wish to help you in any kind of way until you're able to make even better or the best project of your life because of that. Because you are living a completely different world than us, and that is something that we have to appreciate you for being here with us. And I really thank you for sharing that with us.
Your
Dark
sentiment
Raccoon.
is utterly heartfelt. It's very, very appreciated. It's one of those things. You know when you hear someone's voice and they're putting their like whole emotion into it. It's like this is just pure emotional honesty. It's like that was quite moving. Thank you.
Yeah, like Dark
Thank
Raccoon,
you.
why would you want this cut out? Like, what you said was very wholesome. Why would you even want
Because
it?
there's times where people take this the wrong way, and I don't want it to be taken that way.
Understandable. It's
It's
it's it's
difficult.
it's people. It's like no fault to people when they react badly like that. I've definitely in the past, but it's like, if you're like me, you hear a lot of platitudes. Like whenever someone says it will get better, and I've been living with fibromyalgia, an untreatable condition, since I've been 14 and now I'm 26, and it's like I appreciate that they're trying to be kind, but there is a part of me inside that just wants to say, "Oh, go fuck yourself." It's like it does not get better.
Yes.
Man, do I feel that.
Well, Raccoon,
We are all
if
here to
there's
support you.
This is kind of dark, but it is to do with fear and hunger, and it's to do with art. And also relates to Lisa the Painful. Long story short, there is a certain catharsis to be found in art. This is a dark topic, but in my experience in the early Fear and Hunger server, and also own personal experiences, a lot of people it helps with catharsis and trauma. My part, it's long story. This is like topics of like sexual assault, but it's like I've experienced some not nice unwanted attention as a child, and a lot of people on the original Fear and Hunger, damn it, Hunger server had experienced that, and for some twisted reason, the game kind of helps. It helps with catharsis. It helps with being able to process emotions like that. I felt the same way about Lisa the Painful, and many people did too. It deals with dark themes. It deals with horrible themes. But for someone who's, goes through dark and horrible shit, simply being able to live through that in a game in that environment and, get out the other side is cathartic. It's fucked up, but dark media, in my opinion, matters so much because people go through trauma, and being able to go through Silent Hill or just any messed up game can allow for a certain amount of processing and like closure that a lot of things in the world can't. And I just wanted to say that.
well,
So
if you
what you're
remember,
saying is like, if you've lived that thing, it's more difficult to play a game that has some themes related to it because you feel more like.
No. The exact opposite. It's like I experienced a lot of unwanted attention as a child. I really connected with Lisa the Painful because, of Buddy's experience in that game. It's
Yeah.
like,
So you're feeling
and
less
that,
alone because someone is going
yeah,
through the same pain as you.
and you
I
see them,
recently said
get through
something
the
in
other
my
side
server.
as well. It's like,
Yes, I
y-
recently said something in my server that I'm going through something kind of difficult right now, which is I don't like celebrating my birthday. I hate it. But I said that in an announcement, and I had a lot of people tell me that I am not the only one, and they felt really good because of that,
yeah,
because they are not the only person who hates to celebrate their birthday.
yeah, it's like I think dark games really matter because of just dealing with dark themes can help people cope with bad stuff in their IRL lives. Like being into Lisa the Painful and Fear and Hunger, those fan bases, there are lots of emotionally damaged people there that use these games as a way to process and work on themselves in a way. It's like I think it's really important. I know a lot of people can be very dismissive of dark themes, like thinking, "Oh, this is so crude or rude or vulgar."
Yeah.
But it's like, no, people need this to. Some people need this to heal. And it's important. Like like there's so many. You hear that about so many like obscure tragic indie games with like major horror themes or themes of depression or even suicide, and being able to connect that character on that emotional level and see them go through that trauma and get through the other side and still be like whole matters. Like the whole of Buddy's quest line, like in Lisa the Painful, dealing with so much generational trauma and trying to process feeling like the whole world's out to get them, but in the end still getting out the other side as an emotionally realized human being, even though they went through so much unimaginable stuff. That matters. It's important. I don't know.
Yeah, I completely agree. Like you're basically saying, we cannot pretend that the bad stuff doesn't exist, but we have to deal with the bad stuff to arrive to actually maybe at one point a good moment, or
Yeah.
independently from that, just having an evolution in ourselves because of it. Yeah, I completely agree with
It's
you.
yeah, it's basic stuff. Just being able to connect
Yeah.
bad with bad makes good in a way.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
Like
remember
like
Miro
like you
saying
see
that he
someone
went
else.
I
through a lot.
honestly,
He was going through a lot of dark stuff when he started making Fear and Hunger 1,
oh,
which explains why the start of the game is just so dark. But then you can see as development was going on, he was sort of getting out of that headspace, and the game it literally gets brighter as the game goes on, right?
yeah,
And like people ask him, why isn't Termina as dark as the first game? And he's just like, well, I'm just not in that headspace anymore. So I don't need to process that stuff anymore because I'm not going through it. So
yeah, it's like one thing sorry, I hope this doesn't sound pretentious, but one thing which makes me really happy about Termina is I feel like it still has that legacy of, like, one of the characters is in a wheelchair and they have to deal with that, but they still get through and go on the epic quest of self-realization, and you see them deal with the trauma of feeling, ill and fragile and dealing with that. It's like, and you have characters like Samri and Ormina who are and like implied to be trans, and it's like I feel like that's seeing characters that have struggled with experiences you have yourself when you feel maybe alone or unnoticed, or have like a statistically uncommon situation like me. It matters a lot, and I really appreciate Fear and Hunger for that. Like, people like this like people loved Berserk and helped with emotional catharsis, despite all Berserk's darkness and depressing themes. Even something like that could help someone. So if whenever anybody like turns their nose up at dark media and think it's like, oh, this is only encouraging people to be more cruel or some nonsense like that, I'm just like, no, I'm sorry, no, I disagree. Sorry, I've been harping on the same point over and over again.
I'm sorry for laughing, but it made me laugh so much because both me and Dark Raccoon, since we were talking about Olivia, both me and Dark Raccoon played the Fear and Hunger Termina Mazo mode without a wheelchair, and we were able to kill the
I wasn't going to ruin the moment.
It's not ruining. It's not ruining. Literally, without a wheelchair, Olivia was able to kill the moon. The traces of the moon god. Understand it? Like, she accomplished a lot with that.
I legitimately don't understand how you guys did that, to be honest. Like, I did ending A with Marco, and I like just scraped through, and it's like I don't know how you could do it without I don't know how you could beat the base game without the wheelchair. I don't know how you could do it.
I can help you out.
Flagellation, my friend.
Don't worry. But pretty much Olivia is a top tier character if you want to play a game and just break it. Easy.
What is that because of toxicology?
What do you say, sir?
There's one thing I would really love to talk about, and it's purely speculation stuff, but being around in the original Fear and Hunger server, Orange would sometimes like bounce ideas off for like future project ideas.
Ooh.
Like, most of them didn't go anywhere, but it also is like, I wanted to talk to Fear and Hunger fans who would be excited as me about it.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Let's go. The three reoccurring ideas. He's like, well, that's technically like four. One of them was, like Fear and Hunger's version of America is like a big black wasteland where everyone dies.
Yeah.
One thing he mentioned was a possible survival gamey thingy on Vinland, which is
like the forest.
Fear and Hunger. Maybe, I don't know. The other one was just vague mentions a few times of him loving the idea of making a creature collection game, like Shin Megami Tensei Ally or Pokemon or something. He's a big Shin Megami Tensei fan. Originally, Termina was going to be, very Persona Shin Megami Tensei.
Really?
And that's the third one. He initially... What?
Pokemon
Really?
and Hunger?
Were we able to catch the pocket cat?
I don't know.
I want to have a Bobby.
Oh, the tables have turned.
I want to get a Bobby.
The third reoccurring idea was Fear and Hunger set, which looked like either in the 90s or 2000s. Like, for example, there's some initial character design that people have been floating around that have been misattributed to being like, oh, this is the Doctor's initial design. And it's some guy in like a pink outfit. And it's like, no, that's not the character's initial design. That was when Termina was meant to be set in a more contemporary setting, and he was a character that was specific to that. But
to be fair, he has the same pants.
To be fair, his actual design is based off an old Jack the Ripper drawing Orange did, but I'm like... okay, and the third idea is Orange being sad that people only think of him as doing grimdark media, so maybe doing something more lighthearted and silly, like the greatest manga ever told, the great anime story, which all of you should go and read immediately as the finest piece of artwork to ever exist.
I read a bunch of that. That was really good, actually.
Yeah,
enjoyed
it's
it.
like
Miro's such a
orange.
weeb. It's crazy.
I know.
Wait, what
I
manga
was
are we talking
so
about?
shocked. I was
Miro
so
had a manga.
surprised. Yeah,
Huh?
Huh.
and it was just just a massive anime parody. Just anything remotely related, like
It was called
Yu-Gi-Oh,
Great.
like
So it was like
whatever.
a one Punch Man of Fear and Hunger or something.
Not quite. It's like great anime story abbreviated to GAS. It's a cute old thing. Oh, I had an interesting thought and it just popped into my head and then immediately fell out. So that's irritating. What on earth was I thinking of?
Can we go
Oh,
back
sorry,
to
distracted you. Sorry.
to
Oh,
to
it's okay.
Pokemon
No
Fear and
worries.
Hunger?
Oh, that. Oh, it's just more Fear and Hunger trivia I got excited about. Guess what artist inspired Orange the most? I assume you might already know this one, but it was like
Jojo?
such a like. It's the guy who did those old school Castlevania game covers, and I was like, oh my god, that makes so much sense. The originally Fear and Hunger was meant to be a vampire thing, and yeah, I know. I thought that was such a fun piece of trivia because it was such a like oh whoa like eureka moment when I first heard it. I just wanted to share it because it was fun.
I
Yeah,
mean,
but Ragnvaldr
but
is
the
straight
Dragon
up.
is pretty clearly Simon Belmont, so
Yeah.
Yeah,
that does make a lot of sense.
Mr. Fear and Hunger is indeed Simon Belmont. Yes.
It's Castlevania crossed with Berserk.
But wait, since you were talking about all this kind of stuff, do you maybe have some other knowledge about stuff that Miro maybe still didn't release or something? Like, how much do you know?
Spill the
I
beans,
mean,
Louis.
there's a handful of like initial minor dialogue that I don't think's in the final version of the game because he for the early betas he switched stuff around and I'm not sure how much stuff's still in it, especially like the old obscure mind reading dialogue. I think bits and pieces of it's still in, but I think he changed a lot. I can't remember it precisely though. I might have an old demo floating around my computer somewhere, so maybe I could dig that up.
Yeah, sorry
when it
guys.
comes to,
Olivia
like-
is no longer canonically bisexual, so
Was
sorry,
Really?
that's not canon anymore.
I'm
Wait.
surprised because
Was she canonically bisexual?
look in
She
the early
thought
demos
Levi
when
and
you
Marina were
remind-
both really cute in mind reading dialogue,
Yeah,
and that was
and
cut.
she uses their pronouns and everything, and like the he/him pronouns when you mind read her, and it switches depending. Oh no, yeah. In the demos, she was canonically bi,
Oh, okay.
but I always assumed that everyone in Fear and Hunger was canonically bi, just because of Fear and Hunger 1. But yeah,
I mean,
Yeah.
Kahara for sure was like for sure.
yes.
I mean,
don't-
Kahara is just a guy that
So-
doesn't have any standards.
To me,
Oh,
Kahara,
don't be mean to
No,
Kahara.
he has
He's a
standards.
to me,
boy.
honestly,
You recruit
Kahara
him.
feels, to
huh?
me, Kahara never felt like anything to me. He just feels like he's there to do the job and then leave. He's not
Yeah,
there to give anything or take anything. To be honest,
he does.
he
He
just
does
needs money and
care.
leaves.
He does care about his wife prostitute.
Yeah,
Oh,
he's been traumatized with that situation that's going on. I feel like he doesn't care about specifically choosing that
it's
at all.
like
As long as it
like
works.
Fear and Hunger 1 I do really love, but it's like sometimes I always feel really embarrassed in talking about it because because it has its themes are a lot more dark and explicit than the second game. So I always
You
feel
got all
like
those stingers
dear
hanging out
God, I
everywhere.
will never bring up the Sylveon like fucking flower field in like casual conversation.
Bunny mask? What's wrong with the bunny masks?
I
You
completely
mean the blobs?
I just avoided that whole area in the first game just because I was like way too embarrassed. I know it's a free full health. I know it's a free full health. I cannot deal with it. I'm too embarrassed.
But then, question: which one do you prefer, Fear and Hunger 1 or Fear and Hunger Termina?
Oh, that's tricky. For example,
Gotta be
Fear and Hunger-
Termina.
It's gonna be Termina just because you can go,
Yeah.
yeah, but my voice is in that one. Like, oh,
Yeah,
come
yeah.
on,
No,
that's
exactly,
really a
exactly.
question.
it's a nuanced answer, sadly. Termina, the aesthetic and storytelling is way better than Fear and Hunger 1. Undoubtedly, he came into his own as an artist in such a strong way. Where the original is very derivative of Berserk and Castlevania, Termina feels like its own entity and has so much fantastic, unique artwork and characters and storytelling. On the other hand, Fear and Hunger 1's gameplay, in my opinion, works way better. because it's, you know, a relatively short game. When you get stuck and die in Termina, you have to replay it from the beginning. Termina has a lot of very wide open areas, which, you know, you're going to have to walk through a lot, where the Fear and Hunger one is a little more condensed and also short, which makes the difficulty work a lot better because it's a lot less frustrating and repetitive and grindy. As well as it feels like there's more multiple ways to approach. Termina has a lot of backtracking. Like Fear and Hunger 1, honestly, I think the gameplay is objectively better, but I think Fear and Hunger 2 Termina has objectively better artwork. That would be my answer to that question.
For the most part, I agree with you there. I do have to say that Termina is probably more derivative than the first game, but he leans into
Really?
it more. Yeah, I mean, it's literally Majora's Mask crossed with Squid Games. Like, it's just
Oh, come on! Screw you! No, it's not.
to the
that-
point
that's
where Pocket Cat just straight up says, "Yeah, we've told this story a million times. Who cares? Just go with it."
Exactly.
Like, he literally just says
No,
that.
but the artwork, man, the artwork.
Oh, the
It's
artwork's
so-
great. Like, I
it's
love the
so-
artwork, but it's
Like,
supposed to be
this is
derivative.
I-
That's
for-
one of the major themes in the game is that the story's being retold 100 times.
Okay,
Is it-
fair.
Wait,
Fair. I'll concede on that,
Mm.
but I still think the artwork is infinitely more original and less derivative than the first game.
I
Yeah.
thought it was Resident Evil 4.
Speaking of the gameplay, though, can I have a small confession about needles?
Sure,
Don't be gay, okay?
No. When Mao was talking about like, you know, echoing laughter and like stalking you throughout the game, I was very confused. Cause like my experience with needles is that I went down into the bunker, right?
yeah.
Mm.
And I was like, oh, this dude killed Tanaka. I guess that's to demonstrate how difficult this type of enemy is. And then I got into a fight with him, had Abela wrench toss his like whip arm, and then punched his torso with Marco, and then just won. And I just kind of assumed he was supposed to be like the intro fight to like the prison guard type enemy. That's
I
just
know.
like
It's
the
like,
standard
amount of
difficulty because he
time-
was such a pushover.
The amount
Yeah.
of times I've killed Needles by a single zombie immediately attacking his head and just knocking him out is probably in the dozens. He is a pretty fragile boy.
It will actually
I think,
where you fight him in the bunker, it's bugged. He's not supposed to be that fragile there. And it's only later he's back at full health. So he's actually harder if you
Also
don't fight him
later
there. And it's not intentional.
Also later he does pull out the Glock, which does increase the difficulty.
I can explain how it works if you want.
Yeah.
I mean, he
Tanaka
doesn't pull
lowers
out the Glock if
HP.
he's dead.
Tanaka lowers the HP of Needles to the point that the head ends up with 20 HP. So you can one-shot it easily. In the the torso also has very low HP. But if you fight it without having Tanaka dead, then he has a lot of HP. Even the head has like 500 or so.
Jeez.
Yeah, but regardless of that, I still think that Needles, in my opinion, unfortunately, didn't stand up to the Crow Mauler. Like, the Crow Mauler was a
Oh, agreed.
better follower or something.
Agreed. It's like
Chromauler was
Chromauler
definitely
was
scarier.
a effing menace to humanity. It's like
Yeah.
every time he appeared, it was the biggest oh shit. With
Mm.
Needles, it's like good presentation. Like I'm biased, so I did voice. I think he's a funner character with more of an identity. Chromauler is like interesting because it's like one you could argue that he has less of a character, but then again that is kind of a strength in a way because it
Mm.
also makes him like so much more of a WTF like unknowable monster. Like there's very little actual lore on who and what Chromauler is. There is a little, but he doesn't really have a personality other than trying to cave your skull in.
Mm.
And that kind of makes him more intimidating.
Yeah, I think the
Well, then
issue with
you
I
would
can
Needles.
tell you
use
one thing about I can tell you one thing about Needles and Chrome Mauler that is different. That is very different.
The
The
Glock.
speed.
Is the first
It's the
reaction
Glock, isn't it?
the first reaction of people who fight Chrome Mauler is like, oh my god, and then they run away. They never fight Chrome Mauler, right? Until they're
Mm.
fully prepared with their red vial and the mask, right? Even pheromone maybe. So they never fight him at all. With Needles, they are like, oh, I know this guy. I heard a YouTuber tell me that he got a glass shard in their face. They fight him as soon as they find them. They lose because they miss the glass shard blind, and then they complain. And they restart the game, thinking that it's their fault.
Well, I mean, that's the
So-
whole point of Fear and Hunger.
Yeah.
Is thinking you can do something, getting punched in the face endlessly,
I know,
and
but
then having to restart the
People
day.
don't know how to deal with needles exactly, and then they try to shoot him, and then they realize you cannot double tap him with a shotgun, so you're wasting ammo. So it's a really hard fight. if you are cocky about it. But if you know what you're
Fair,
doing, it's
fair.
fine.
But yeah, I think that
Fair.
the issue with Needles is more the level design, which is an issue that comes up a bit, like you were saying, how open it is. Because with Chrome Wall, he's very hard to dodge. In most places, he can show up, or he'll show up in the one spot you have to walk right next to you, right, like Lagarde's cage.
Yeah.
Whereas Needles, like the whole city is just really open, which is intentional, but I don't
Yeah.
think it works out as well because he's easy to avoid, the mob's easy to avoid. It sort of lessens the impact of most enemies because of the level layout.
Whoa.
So there's one place where there's actually two places where needles can fuck over your run, which is when you go past the mob. If you get mobbed and you don't have a sword winch, you gotta go up. If needles is up there, you're forced to fight the mob or needles, and then entering the city from breaking the lock, going all the way up, and then to the right, you cannot go back downwards because there's a Bobby.
Mm.
And needles will be at the top right, so that's also another place where you gotta learn how to dodge needles. Those are the only two places
Yeah,
that
that's true.
needles is
Yeah,
instead.
but
And that's it. And that's
but
it.
anyways, that's not true that the mob is easy to dodge. Like going at 2 FPS every time the mob appears really makes it difficult for
That
me.
is only you. You have a
Shut
bad
up!
computer.
PC
You
is
suck.
fantastic. This stupid RPG Maker game crashes almost every time the mob appears on screen at 1 FPS or something.
Dude, you need a better computer.
No, I just bought it. It's supposed to be the better computer.
Can you fix that with your bug fixing?
Is
Ren?
anyone else annoyed
Fix-
that he added an automatic dash and I'd spent so much time perfecting the footwork so I could move around any enemy and now I can just run around? It's like the hours of figuring out how to dodge all these guys is ruined.
I
You
love
know,
the sprint.
with my
I
life.
think the sprint is the best addition you could have made.
If I'm gonna be perfectly honest about that, I don't care in the slightest because you don't need to dodge
Yeah.
enemies. You just need to punch them in the torso with markup.
Yeah, that's true. Enemies are just a body sack or something. Like
Yeah.
the one of Pocket Cat, the one the Pocket Cat punches with the girl.
Enemies are just
You mean the toy?
like
No,
The speed bumps.
the little boy. Come on, it's not a toy.
So I'm working on a new video at the moment, and speaking of how broken Marco is, I realized that it's possible to get Meat Grinder before you even enter the city as Marco. So not only does he have the strongest start, he can also get the objective best weapon in the game before he even enters the city.
I feel like
Hey,
that's
tell me how you can do that now. I would love to
Like,
know.
I feel like Termina experiments with an idea I really like, which is asynchronous game design, where instead of making each character even and equal, some characters are purposely easier and some characters are purposely harder. I think it's a very interesting way to handle difficulty and to try and make runs unique and distinct, where it's like, yeah, Yellow Mage, he's baller, he's gonna destroy people. Marco's gonna destroy people. But then if you play with some of the other characters, you might have to think and approach situations differently. And I don't know, I just like the idea.
No, I really like that
I
too. That's
agree.
why Olivia is one of my favorite characters, because it's like, holy shit, Fear and Hunger, a character where you have to struggle to go upstairs and you can get knocked off in combat and then you just can't do anything. I love it. It's amazing. Give me more of that, please. Give me more characters that have weird rules like that. It's awesome.
It does playable characters very well, just because they're so very, just a lot of them very distinct with their own scenes. And one thing which does annoy me a tiny bit is the game has so much content in it, but it's like the game can feel barren at points, and it's not because there isn't content, it's because the content is like held between like a bunch of different characters and a bunch of different days. So when the game feels, so it's like I just want the game to be compressed. I just want all the areas to be smaller. I want the game length to be smaller. It's like I just want I to make the content more easy to experience.
So recently, it's been how many days? How many months has it been since Termina released on Steam? Anyone knows?
Since it released, I believe it was November. It came out.
November.
I think it was late November. Let me
Since
see.
November, no one has known of this thing for the whole time that you could shoot the
The
lock
gate.
with a shotgun. The gate. You could shoot the gate with a shotgun.
Hilarious.
No one knew that.
I love that.
Since November. Yep. And I think just being so open, it feels so good to me because I feel like I can still get to know more stuff that I haven't yet
Would
experienced.
you like Would you like to hear the secret with the anthill in the first game?
Oh, the
Tell me
secret
about
what?
Oh wait, the anthill
The
secret.
Yeah, the anthill secret. I spent so much time. It's like it said it had tobacco on it, so I was like smoking next to it. I tried everything till eventually Orange was like, "Yeah, there isn't one. Please stop looking."
I was confused. I was like, interesting.
That must be like the television room in Termina. I don't think there's anything there.
Oh, that's gotta be something in
No,
the
I
next
feel like the
future.
television room is intentional. I feel like it's to set up the television room later and the creepy broadcast. I feel like it's like, you know, to make you feel weird about television rooms to set that up later.
No,
That's
that
my
makes
theory.
no sense. No.
Or
For
it's
me, that
just,
makes no
he's
sense.
screwing with you again.
The thing about it is that it's so weird how just it lags and every single character has like a different dialogue for
Yeah.
that. It's so weird.
It
But-
lags,
Oh, you were. Yeah, it
But-
lags.
and-
When you step in there, it lags.
Just get rid of the PC.
But
Hey, Sapolo,
like
Sapolo.
the
I
anthill-
cannot hear you. Sorry.
Just get rid of the PC, bro. What do you mean?
Yeah, just give you
Hey,
PC.
Sorry, Frapolo, I can't hear you over the sound of your PC being bad.
But I think that's
Ma-
just. I think it's just like the anthill because it's really fun to have mysteries. That's kind of the point of Fear and Hunger to a degree, and having some mysteries you can't answer, I think, is good for the game. I think that needs.
yeah, exactly. I would
So I
love
feel
to.
like things like the anthill and the television room are kind of necessary to make the game what it is and make it as compelling as what it is. Like, no one will ever know why that anthill smelled like effing tobacco, why there was that line in the game, but that is the point.
Also, I gotta be honest. I agree with you on the idea of shrinking the game a little bit in how wide the zones are. But I don't agree about the reduction of the days or something because, in my
Fair,
opinion,
fair,
that's a thing that adds a lot of replayability. You know.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that. Though there is one thing I'm a stickler about, and Orange, every single time I brought it up to him, he was like, yeah, no. Which is,
No.
I don't want randomized item locations. I want to be able to strategize about having particular items in particular places and not be able to be screwed over by bad luck. But I brought that up so many times, and he was like, no.
No.
Well, yeah, I think that the power level in Termina is like for the enemies is lower. Like I beat the game with Marina with Meat Mallet and zombies. And it's like if you can beat the game with Meat Mallet, which you can get guaranteed, I think you can get like 3 or 4 guaranteed. You don't really need the high level stuff. So it's not really a big deal that, Salmon Snake is only RNG, and it's like, well, that's not really a big deal because you can work around that.
Mao, you said something about getting the meat grinder.
And bleeding to death every run. Like, bandages are like more valuable than diamonds. Like, oh my god.
Mao, you said something about the meat grinder with Marco. Sorry, what were you saying about that? That caught my attention.
Marco can get the meat grinder before something.
Yeah,
you can get it before entering the city because if you can start with steel with Marco, right? And then you just go fly to Bella and then steal from her and then kill her and take her soul and then go clean out the old town and get the heads. So, well, actually, you only need one soul stone at the moment.
I would like to help you out with that because I like you a lot, right?
Yeah.
How are you gonna take Avele? Just wondering. How are you gonna take out with Marco?
With Marco, well, there's a couple of different ways. You could try. You could use Bob and Weave to help avoid her stuns. Marco can start with pet pills and heroin. Heroin's probably overkill, but you could use pet pills and then just drill her body down. There's glass shards you can pick up for free at the woodsman's house.
Heroin and drill her body down. That sounds like one hell of a night.
Well, maybe.
So, like, she is tricky because of the stuns, right? But
yes, the confusion, the last 30 turns. That's why I'm mostly thinking about it. She can solo an entire party by herself, by the way. So I think she's not easy to deal with.
I think if you use Bob and Weave, you can RNG it through pretty reliably, or glass shard
I don't know
effects.
about Bob and Weave because of
Fear and Hunger.
it's a skill. I don't think you can dodge. it properly. I think it's just a chance.
Oh, really?
No, wait. Wrench toss. I think I have the correct wrench toss in front of me right now. It's a physical attack, so you can dodge it.
Ah.
So you have the code in front of you, like some kind of hacker all the time.
Been a hacker. I just used RPG Maker.
He was traumatized by all the times he's been wrong, so he has to keep it
No,
open to make
right?
sure he doesn't say anything stupid.
Like when he says shit, and he's like, "Oh, I have the code here."
Yeah, because when you said that Abella is able to kill Mark, I wanted to say if Bob and Weave was effectively useful because I wanted to check if Wrench Toss was a certain hit or a physical attack, and it's a physical attack.
Okay, that's good then.
Okay.
So that's
Maybe,
for the
maybe.
sake of-
blanket 50% chance to dodge it then. So with Bob and Weave, so I reckon you could do that reliably. You could beat it reliably. I mean, I'm going to test it out, but I reckon you could
course,
walk
yes.
into the city with
I-
a
I-
meat grinder. I reckon you could do that.
I tried to speed on with Marco, and I tried doing that as my strategy, but I never was able to find a proper way to deal with a Vela because of how lucky you have to be to dodge the fucking confusion of 3 turns.
Would that be worth
she
speedrunning
applies.
though? Because you need like 12 heads or something to get weapon crafting. That's crazy. And the RNG to actually
You
get
can
the stuff to
skip.
get
No,
it.
no, you can skip it. You can get the first skill of a Vela, and you can get the 4th one right away.
Exploits. You're using exploits. I thought we were good boys here. I can't believe this.
Mao
Wait,
is
Podcast
wait a
over.
second,
Podcast
Raccoon.
over.
Mm.
Wait, you said you need to dodge the confusion 3 times, right?
No, only one time.
Oh, only one time. Okay, but I was confused because you can just attack the head, right?
If you want, I usually go for the head because Marco goes for double punches.
Exactly, that's what I was thinking.
Mm.
For the sake of curiosity, are we all from different countries? Because I think that was really cool. If that's the case.
I am from Argentina, South America.
I'm England.
I'm Australia, mate.
I could tell.
If it wasn't clear, I'm Italian.
You're Italian.
That's so cool. That's
was
what I love
born.
about niche like video game communities. Is like they're so flipping diverse. You get people from like everywhere, and it's always, and I always find that really entertaining. Like the idea, it's like, no matter the country or the border, we can enjoy this weird, random, obscure nightmare game. Like the amount of Russians in Fear and Hunger is breathtaking.
It is pretty funny.
Yeah, that's true. But wait, also, was the Fear and Hunger originally in Russian? Because I need it for another further reason. Because I was thinking about the design of the salmon snake, which is supposed to be an axolotl, but in Russian he's called like a water dragon. But I don't know if the game was originally in Russian. Because if it was, then it means it's a...
It was not originally in Russian. I'm 90% sure of that. Isn't Orange? Oh, no.
Finnish.
It's one of. Long story short, yeah,
Finnish.
thank you. I always get Finland confused with all the adjacent countries. So, if anything, I don't know. If there was any like deep cultural reference that we wouldn't get or something, it would probably be Finnish and not Russian. But never mind.
Yeah, maybe. Also,
Yeah,
Jones,
Finnish
where
is
are
a-
you from?
I was born in the USA, and my current location is non-disclosable.
Non-disclosable.
He's in purgatory.
Okay.
Currently
I
under
just-
low Earth orbit, traveling
I
at like
just-
a million
I
miles.
love how we all said, and then Jones was like, ah, and then he.
Yeah, I was like,
That's
damn, I
so
guess they don't
funny.
care about where I'm from at all.
Oh, right, Bones
Are
is here. Hi, Bones, how you doing?
farted or something?
Us being in all 4 corners of the globe is actually incredibly difficult when we're trying to schedule a time to actually record this thing.
Yeah, because now, for example, it's night time in my zone, but Mao just woke up or something.
Yeah. I'm actually getting up early to do this podcast. I enjoy doing it. I'm not complaining, but yeah, I actually had to get up early to do this podcast. So
Delightful. Well, we got through Fear and Hunger, the most difficult games that's ever been made. So we'll go through
Yes,
Opium.
the cruelest video game.
the hardest. Yeah,
The RPG that hates you.
Yeah. The most. It's like, yeah. Might I say the Dark Souls of? No, I'm not. I'm not that.
No, the Fear and Hunger of Dark Souls.
Favorite game is Black Souls.
Oh, that's
Oh yeah,
true.
did you play Black Souls?
Wait,
We
is
don't
that the
talk
one?
about that.
It's like Was that somebody recommended a game to me on the Fear and Hunger server, and they
No.
said it was a lot like Fear and
No.
Hunger and really dark, and I played it,
No.
and it was a porn game, and I got traumatized.
No, we shouldn't be
it's-
talking about
That's
that.
all the
Mao
games
and
for
I
Polo
are
plays. That's
here.
all the games for Polo
Yeah,
plays.
exactly. We're tired of this
No,
bullshit.
it's not like all the games for Follow Plays, but are the games that I really like. Black Souls is not like Fear and Hunger, but it's a good story, like good characters, etc. So if you like RPGs with a sort of
It has a
element
good
like
amount
Dark
of
Souls,
porn.
No,
you can
Yes.
disable
If
it,
you like-
Raccoon,
If
you
you like
stupid
good
idiot.
dark RPG Maker games, play Toy Maker. It's one of the best RPG Maker games ever, and no one's played it, and I hate that.
Toy
And,
Maker?
play
What's
Toy
that
Maker.
about?
Just play Toy Maker for the love of God.
oh, yeah, that's actually on my backlog.
What's it about?
It's such a cute game. I love its writing and setting
Cute?
and story.
Oh,
It's
we don't do cute
pretty
here, sorry.
simple.
We do
Well,
dark and
you
edgy.
know, people die a lot.
It needs to be
but
grim
it's
like
like-
my heart. Toy Maker.
As you know, the whole main character's family gets murdered in like the opening scene. So I hope that'll tide you over.
Looks
Yeah,
like
but
Undertale.
that's just standard RPG opening. The
That-
villain
that
shows
is-
up
yeah.
and wipes out the town.
Then everyone gets murdered again later. They get murdered a lot, really.
Sorry, Needles. I just got one question to ask you
sure,
if you
sure.
want. How did you voice act the gun of Needles?
What?
So on to a better question, right? I want to know.
Ah,
Please.
I want to know why does needles heal your heroin addiction when he
so on
kills
to a
you?
better question.
There's a lore reason for
I'm
this.
pretty sure I can answer that healing the
There's a
heroin
low reason.
addiction
Mao
thing.
got it. Mao, pick me up. Hang on a second.
Well,
Mao?
let's hear Bones. Let's hear Bones first.
One of the things that Orange habitually includes in basically all of the game over scenes is a line of code that clears all status effects and removes everyone from the party. A heroin addiction is a status effect.
Oh no, I thought it was a cool lore reason.
I think
Wait,
there is. I think there still is a cool lore reason. I don't think that's that
No, wait,
precludes it.
Jones. I've never checked that part, but isn't that just because you die, and when you die, you lose all your status effects?
No, it's actually like you can check this. This is probably most overtly demonstrated in the Lord of the Flies game over code, because they clear all your status effects and then actually no, other way around. They give you broken bones when you fail the coin flip and then clear all your status effects.
So then you don't get broken bones.
And then you don't get broken bones, yeah.
Whoops.
Nice. Break me up and then
This is
unbreak
one of
me.
the few ways to heal broken bones in Termina. Or not in Termina, in one.
Well, yeah,
I
because
mean, because you die literally, but still, like, the point is, you're not supposed to get healed, I think. Like, I think it's a bug.
well, see, in
I mean-
Termina, there's a couple of death scenes, right? You know, there's the one with the priest, and that doesn't get rid of heroin addiction. And doing a Sylvian circle gets rid of everything except heroin addiction. So it does
Are you
something.
playing their canon?
So the needle scene is special for some reason, and I think it's intentional, right? Because the sulfur cult uses Vitruvian. It has a strong Vitruvian themes, and Magna Medical is a Vitruvian spell, which is tied to Dan's soul, right? And Magna Medical is also the only other way to clear heroin addiction is when you die and then you get resurrected again. So I think Needles kills you, then uses Magna Medical to resurrect you again. That's what I think. That's the lore reason.
So
Jones,
I'd also like to point out that one of the default behaviors of RPG Maker is that on character death, clear all status effects.
yeah, but Jones,
So
like,
basically what I'm saying is that I completely agree with Mao because bugs are canon and important to the lore.
It's logic.
Oh no.
It's logic, yeah.
Like the bug in the first game where you could immediately find the most powerful weapon in the game by clicking on one of the first barrels you see. Like, no.
but
Yeah, that's canon. That's why the Eastern Union never invaded Rondon, because
Oh,
you
no,
can just walk
no,
up
no,
to a child
no,
and
no,
get
no,
an infinite
no,
number
no.
of Darcy's in your party.
Yeah,
Jones,
that's
where,
the
Where
nuke.
do you see? Where did you see the Lord of the Flies giving you broken bones? That's not true.
Wow, was Bones wrong? No way.
It's not in the
Liar,
combat
liar.
script. It's in the overworld script.
No. I checked both the Lord of the Flies, the cage scene, the common event related to the Lord of the Flies. There is nothing about Broken Bones.
Huh. I
Weird.
know it's in there somewhere. I just don't remember where.
Pants on fire!
Oh no.
It's actually in there somewhere. I just don't remember where. I could find it later.
Oh,
Yeah,
sure,
we'll have a look
sure.
later.
Okay, I'm gonna shut up now. Sorry, guys. Sorry.
No
I'm not
worries.
Man,
using
that
this,
was
this
amazing.
stupid idea. Sorry.
One
Beautiful.
thing I like a
Nice.
lot about Fear and Hunger is it being a parallel world setting, because I always feel like there's so much potential for inspiration and fun ideas when you have a parallel world setting, because it's like, what on earth would be where you are, where you live now in Fear and Hunger? Like, I love that concept of just thinking, like, the world has infinite culture and weird, creepy stuff. So it's like just thinking, what would be Fear and Hunger in Jamaica? What would be Fear and Hunger in Peru? What would be Fear and Hunger in Norfolk, England? What would be Fear and Hunger in like anywhere, anywhere? And there's always so much fun and silly ideas, and I just love that.
Yeah, one thing I like about the setting is that whenever something isn't specified, you just assume that it's the same. It's basically the same as real life. Like, what's going on in this area? It's like it's the same. Don't worry about it. If it's not mentioned, don't worry about it.
As the person who lives in England, I can say the depiction of England and Fear and Hunger is 100% accurate.
Technically, we do have some representation of Marco Argentino, Dan Argentino. All of them were made by Dark Raccoon.
Wait, what?
Hmm?
Dan and Marco
That's-
aren't Argentinian.
No. Dark Raccoon made Dan and Marco Argentino. Like, I remember the images.
Oh,
he
you're
had
talking
like
about
a
my.
laser
Oh, let
beam
me
and
find
shot
them.
like his
Let me find them.
Argentina razor. I don't know what you would call that.
I don't even know. Like, Argentinian, I think? Whatever.
Oh, that reminds me of that
Argentino.
horrible secret project I'm working on. I don't think I'll bring that up on the podcast because I want it to remain secret because it's too horrible to be known.
Yeah.
And if you want to hear,
It's
You
lurking
heard
in the
that dead
shadows.
laughter
Was
Mallory
it?
about it.
wants to hear about them.
Listen,
There
you
you go.
just said about it, now you have to explain it. What happened, Jones?
I put them in podcast VC. You can see them.
There they
Argentinos,
are!
como- Te ofrecen un mate.
So when you
What?
Louis, when you spoke to Miro, did you just send him the laughing tracks before you even knew what he wanted you to work on?
Oh yeah.
Like, hey
Completely.
Miro,
I'd
check out
say,
this
"Hey,
creepy
I just
laugh, and he's like,
creepy
sick, I'll use
laughter
it.
and spammed him audio files.
So did you know what you were recording for? Like,
Oh, not at all. I didn't know anything for any of the characters. I was like, I had no idea about any of them. It's like when I first saw the scene where like Needles like drugs you and there might be an implied sex scene, I was like, oh, okay. I didn't mean to. I didn't expect to be voice acting a character where there's an implied like where they drug the main character and make them orgasm. But hey, this is my life now, so whatever.
Man, imagine Needles laughing hysterically during a sex scene. That would be so
Thank you. You'd
uncomfortable.
have to pay me a lot of money to get that to happen. It's like the one that I use. I'm incredibly dyslexic, so I use speech to text. And the worst mess up I ever had was once I said I'd done video game voice acting, and it's speech to text corrected to I'd done video game sex acting, and that's the most embarrassing moment of my life.
Technically true now, I guess. Technically true.
No, it isn't. I'm a wholesome Christian boy.
I mean, no. You got a hand in the say-so card.
Yeah, sorry,
Uh,
sorry, you're done.
my reputation is ruined.
So what's next? Do you have any more voice lines coming out, or is it just?
Oh well, when it comes to the Fear and Hunger stuff, he has speculated he might do a small scale game with a lot more voice acting, and if so, I'm going to be on board with that. But the thing is, Orange has like said so many different ideas over the years of like next cool projects he would like to work on that it's whoever knows what he's going to do next. To be honest, it could be the Pokemon one, it could be a survival game, it could be something set in like the early 2000s, it could be the most cutesy, wholesome game. He could just make the great anime story forever and never do Fear and Hunger again. Who effing knows? It's Orange.
Yeah, he did say the setting for Termina he changed absolute last minute, so it was going to be something else. It probably not even the modern setting.
It's going to be. Yeah, you can see art for it. He did. There's a mock-up of a room.
Yeah. It's got like
where-
Levi's got a PlayStation 2 there. It's pretty sick.
Yeah. I mean, if I was a gambling man, I would say the most two likely ones, because the one he said the most often is the survival one in, evil completely pitch black America world in Fear and Hunger, or it will be like a Fear and Hunger set in like the early 90s, 2000s, maybe around Y2K. I don't know. But if I was a gambling man, those would be like the two picks I would think would be most plausible.
Yeah, the modern setting does seem, and it seems most logical after the endings of Termina as well. But knowing Miro, he's gonna pull something out last minute that's completely unexpected.
Oh yeah, if the true thing to gamble on and win every time is who the fuck knows, because honestly, Miro might not even know at this point.
No, I legit don't think he does. So, and that's sort of the charm, right?
Yeah. Following his heart and his dreams.
Yeah. I'm still stuck
He
on Pokemon.
had a lot of
Fear and
stuff from
Hunger.
his dreams, like the whole scene and the whole massive banquet hall with all the new gods was based on a dream he had.
Yeah, he's mentioned that a few times. I'm trying to remember. He said something about Termina was from his dreams as well.
Yeah, I remember back in the old Fear and Hunger server days, he used to bring that up like surprisingly often, that he had a cool dream and wanted to put it in the game.
Wait, did you say the old Fear and Hunger Discord server? There was another one before this one, or did you just refer to the...
I'm just talking about the current one, but like, oh god, how many years has it been since the original release?
2019?
Yeah, so 2019. I'm talking like 2019 Fear and Hunger server.
Oh yeah, understandable. Yeah, I guess that in that moment, like the game was much less known. So
yeah, there was like 6 people. It was just me, like Ellie. I don't know if Edwin was around by that point, but it was only there was only a handful of people.
oh, there was already Skelly. Nice. That's an Italian man. I love you, Skelly.
So you're telling me that if we got into the server early enough, we could have bullied Miro into doing what we wanted?
Oh, you have, like, for example, someone drew my partner drew some Pocket Cat fan art where Pocket Cat was a particular shade of purple, and Orin said, "Oh, I like that. I'm going to use that in Termina." So,
Wow.
dude, the Plague Bearer character in the first game, who has that hand and touches you and immediately died, is based off the effing server admin from the original game. And like, oh my god, is the Sandman dream weapon still in the game?
Sandman. Oh, in Termina,
Sandman's
there's a
kiss?
Sandman.
The sand, yeah, that's based off a person who sadly committed suicide on the old Fear and Hunger server. Yeah, I know, it's tragic, but yeah, it's like, because the server was so small, there was a lot of community input, hence me being able to get my voice in the game, as well as Sandman's dream being there, Pocket Cat's like color palette changing to reflect some fan art he saw, like Rotel being a thing, the whole New Gods contest where a bunch of the people in the New Gods dining rooms were just a bunch of fans submitted designs. That's why I got one in there. It's like, yeah, the original much more small scale one. Yeah, there was a lot of fan input.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, I joined not long after Termina came out, and it seems still pretty small. It seemed like a lot of people started joining after that because of Termina. But then
I ran for the hills because it went incredibly big after Termina. Because like the original one was like, there was barely any people on it at a time. It was very small.
And
you could talk to Orange on a pretty regularish basis, just because it was that small scale that just anyone could ask him questions and have a conversation, which I kind of miss.
Well, even it was for a very long time. You could like at Miro and you could expect a response.
Yeah.
And it was only after the really big YouTube videos come out, like not even because we talked about this last time on the podcast with Wormgirl, because there was the video that was the RPG that hates you that absolutely popped off. And even after that, they got a few people in, but even after that, you can still talk to Miro. But then it was when like the big YouTubers started covering it, like Sea-Dog and I'm terrible with names.
Super Eye Patch Wolf.
Yes, Eye Patch Wolf. Yeah.
He didn't ruin the fandom. He still puts a lot of effort in.
There are certain things you aren't able to talk about after more people started coming in, unfortunately.
Oh no, that's a shame. Is the Pinecone Pig off limits now?
We love Pinecone Pig.
I love the Pinecone Pig.
He's the silliest thing in the entire lore, and I love that because there's no real acknowledgement. I mean, there's some vague lore that he might be connected to the nature god from the second game, because the nature god's original form is that like pinecone monster. But I just love it because it's a goofy little man. It's a goofy little boy.
No, well, there's actually more connections coming out. Thanks to the digging by our top lore heads. That one, what's his name again? More They Doog, I think, is coming out with some cool theories about Pinecone Pig. Some pretty cool stuff.
More they do, good.
Yeah, I think that's how it's pronounced, right?
More they
Never heard
do.
of him.
Wasn't he? Okay, I'm gonna remember that for the
Wait, do
future.
you mean Mouth Dog or?
Yeah, Mouth Dog. That's it. Mouth Dog. He's got some cool stuff coming out.
One thing I would like to maybe say, just as me being a whiny little bitch, is whenever I wanted to put the stuff about me designing one of the new gods in the opening, and me voicing and how voicing Needles was inspired my fibro pain stuff to the Fear Hunter wiki, I did it twice, and every time it was taken off. So I just want to say screw you.
They're actually pretty strict about on the new wiki. They're super strict about just hard facts from in the game. They don't have any like lore. Like they're really cutting back on even like lore theories and stuff like that now. So it's been completely overhauled.
I
think
mean, I
that's-
can't blame him for that one with half the crap that was on the original wiki about the lore.
Yeah, it is a reaction to the old wiki where it was just people just writing fan fiction. So it's
I don't know,
I
like
really
a.
liked the I can't remember if there's like a trivia or a speculation bit, but I like that where there was that little bit on the bottom where it's just like fun facts, which was just like crazy theories or funny little information bits. It's
But
like,
actually, there are still those theories because recently I watched like almost all the wiki pages because I'm working on something important, and there is always almost a section that says something like everything that you read under this is gonna be pure speculation. So there is actual theorizing on the wiki pages.
oh
Okay, but you don't have Goku.
Yeah, we don't have Goku. Only the
we
fandom
have
wiki has that.
JoJo, though.
That's the level of quality for like trivia and fan theory I'm talking about.
Yeah.
A lot of it was on the level of Goku.
yeah.
What?
I like people making up their own goofy stories. I don't care if they're plausible as long as they're entertaining. That's how I feel about fan theories.
Yeah, I
but-
agree.
If you're having an issue with the wiki and there is something there, because that is actually pretty interesting, how you came up with the laugh, and this goes for anybody listening too. If there is something, there's actually a section in the official Discord which is about organizing the wiki. So if there's something that you want to add like that and it keeps getting removed or you're not sure, you can always ask in there. And they're pretty happy to chat there.
They need to go back to the official Discord. There's so many people, and I don't know. I did. Fear and Hunger got like over 1 million views on YouTube. I'm in a famous game. What the fuck is happening with my
Over
life?
1 million. It's gotta be.
It's
It's gotta be over
intimidating.
100 million now for real.
No.
Hell, my
No.
channel alone has over 1 million.
Dude, Fear and Hunger is only still known by 6 random people. This is I'm
No.
internally huffing
You are
copium right
living
here.
under a rock, I
6
see.
random people that all just have to be in this podcast that only has 1 view per podcast.
Which is wonder maybe because she was the guest of previous episode.
Yeah.
Oh
I
no,
miss World Girl.
it's just the same person putting on different voices.
Yeah, I miss
Yeah.
Worm Girl. Let's get your raccoon, please. Raccoon, go away. Let's get Worm Girl, okay?
Oh, don't be mean.
You're gonna die again.
But-
Yeah, I
be
have
me-
reflect right now. You're gonna die again. You know I'm gonna die again.
The truth. I recorded the truth because before the starting of the podcast, Raccoon wanted me to go away, guys. Don't be fooled.
Wow, so that's what happened. I can believe that. I fully believe that you said that,
I don't
Raccoon.
know.
Yeah, I would also believe it too. I said it and I believe it.
Perfect.
This is, I don't know, just random thing. It's like, I really like drawing random stuff because it makes me happy. Because that's my primary coconut to deal with pain, is just keeping busy. And I just want to say, hey, if any guys would like a random drawing of anything, I'm here. I like drawing things. Oh, I forgot. I should have did my game promotion thing. I should have been a shameless whore about that. Oh, I need to ask like everyone to review it, and if we get 10 reviews, then it'll be rated. And it's like, and if everyone who watches the podcast review the game, we would get on Steam New and Trending, which would probably true, because to go on Steam New and Trending, like getting 50 reviews within a very short time span would definitely do it. And I don't know if 50 reviews would be possible off this, but hey, maybe. But damn, I forgot to be a shameless whore. I got excited talking about Fear and Hunger. Damn it.
Sorry,
Yeah.
but there's no way 50 reviews would be remotely possible. There's, like, including the viewers, there's only 6 people, remember?
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, that's why we all make
counts.
alt
That's
accounts.
true.
Yeah.
That's why we all like alt accounts 50 times.
Yeah, so everybody listening, make sure to go check out Sunrise. The link is in the description, as well as the link to the
Sunrise, yeah.
charity. So make sure to go check that out. And
Pretty
if-
please. I'd be infinitely grateful. I'm desperate. I'm not quite at the point of selling Pete Fit feet pics in exchange for people playing my game, but I'm close. Ugh,
With what feet pics?
I'm joking.
Propolo
Oh,
likes
Why
feet,
okay.
don't
did
you?
that activate Frapolo?
No, sorry, because it was so like unexpected.
Frapolo!
No, I'm not into feet, guys.
That's only for fans.
Oh,
Also, now you could also put an image on the game, like right
So
now.
you're the one that tried to commission that barefoot pocket cat pic.
Farpolo,
Okay.
why?
Now I know what
You
your office
sink
called.
so low.
See those commissions without
Farpolo.
even asking for them, so that's perfect.
Farpolo, why do you
never
sink so
Google
low?
Pocket Cat,
I
guys.
seem so
First
low.
with
It is an
fucking
experience.
Pocket Cat, then with Black Souls, now with feet pics.
I
Farpolo.
don't, guys. I don't like feet. Okay.
Well, actually, Pocket Cat kind of canonically does. There's that line when he wants to buy the girl from you. He's like, "I like her ankles."
Oh no! Oh no!
So
Now,
you
Can
know,
you shut up?
If it was anyone, it was going to be him.
Frapolo exposed to the world to
Wow.
see.
How long have we been going for?
hour
1
15.
hour, I think.
Would you like to wrap up for now, Louis?
Well, is there any more questions? Is there anything else you'd like to say, Louis, or any other
Yes,
questions?
There is
Oh,
one
I-
last
I
question
don't know.
from.
I
There is one
tend-
last question from Afri, the greatest needles lover. Okay.
Okay.
Can you value my interpretation of needles?
I don't know what the interpretation is, honey. It's like I need to know that first, so I don't.
I'm gonna do the needles that sound, okay? And you're gonna value it from 1 to 5.
Oh, okay.
Ta-da-ta-da, ta-da-ta-da.
5.
Really?
5. Look, if the audio file was really low quality, you could sort of mistake it, I guess.
Oh, okay. I mean, that's a victory for me.
Or I
Thanks.
feel like I'm being mean.
It needed some gulping, like da 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 da.
To be right.
Needed that in the end.
Can we hit up Miro and say, Miro, we need Needles drinking? Can we like?
Dude,
organise
I'm
that?
not bothering him with that. It's like the only thing I'm bothering with him is plugging my game right now. That's my main. No, I'm joking. I'm not going to do that.
Yeah. So, any other questions or anything else you'd like to bring up, Louis?
Oh dearie me. I mean, I want to say that I've really enjoyed. I don't talk to people that much because being housebound and all. So it was really nice to hang out and talk about a game I really really love and be overly excited about people. So thanks a ton for having me. And I don't know I don't know if you'll ever need voice acting or art for anything, but hey, if you ever need a creepy voice or some doodles, I'm happy to make some.
Yeah. Thanks for coming in. It's been great.
Thanks.
Sweet dreams. Bye bye.
So everybody. Oh.
She said bye-bye, to be honest, so
That's
what do you
fair.
I
expect?
did say bye, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, everybody listening, make sure to go check out the game in the description and go check out the charity too if you're feeling a little generous. Yeah. So thank you guys for coming in.